Thanks very much. Not a bad way to start the day off at all, is it? The Utes flying around these amazing street tracks that we have. And once again, we're lined up ready to go on Surfers Paradise. This is the reverse grid race. And I'm very happy to have Paul Morris, Bathurst champion, alongside me for this one. Reverse grid races, Paul, always a little bit more exciting.
Oh, especially in the Utes. So, yeah, nice day here on the sunny Gold Coast. A few people with a few sore heads after Club 600. So, see who's awake to watch this one.
This will wake them up. We've had the concerts going on all night. I could hear partying from my hotel room till about 4 in the morning as well. Roel Harris is the winner of yesterday's race, so he goes out of position number 11, which is the reverse draw for today. Phil Woodbury won't be making the start out of row 14. He was part of a nasty accident, 3-car crash that's marred yesterday's race. Kim Jane also had his hands full as well. So if you missed out on yesterday, check this one out. Classic case of one guy goes in and turn one, and wham! Phil Woodbury, nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's a car claim of those tyres if you get it wrong.
Oh, this is the slow-mo of it. Check out the helmet of Phil Woodbury lurching forward. Cam Wilson was the next guy on the scene. He had a nasty accident here as well last year. He didn't have too much room to go on that one. And a little bit of radiator fluid. Coolant flying up into the sky out of the front of Phil Woodbury's car. So the man from Lithgow not making the start this time through. Elliot Barber was pinged for curb hopping yesterday, then had it readdressed. He was involved with a lap 1 crash with this guy, Kim Jane.
Kim Jane, yeah, he had his hands full yesterday, didn't he?
And Adam Marjoram, the next of our onboards with Auto 1. He's having a fairly good weekend so far, the West Aussie, even though he broke a gearbox in qualifying, as opposed to this guy who missed qualifying altogether. The Hawkeye on board with Craig Dontis, the Thirsty Camel, sponsored South Aussie, has been fighting his way through. Started off the back of yesterday's race and managed to pass about 15 utes, doing a nice job. So it's an unusual looking front row with Gray and Fisher off the front. The fast guys behind them in Pretty and McNally, who shared Bathurst wins at the last round. Mediki was also on the podium at the last round as well, in with a shout here as well. First lap chaos. Hopefully we're going to avoid it. Hopefully we can get a few laps in on this one. Second race, reverse grid.
The green flag, they're ready to roll.
Well, yesterday we started off with the dropping of the Australian flag, but it looks like we're going to stick to something a bit more conventional today. Gray and Fisher on the front row. Gray slow to jump. Fisher maybe with an advantage. Nathan Pretty with a nice start.
He's having a look up the inside.
He couldn't find it. There was contact between himself and Jeremy Gray. That would have been very ambitious. And as a result, he's going to fall back to our 5th. As Fisher and Gray go side by side through the first chicane. Pretty unloads McNally, who goes into the back of Fisher. A couple of shortcuts, which is what we've come to expect. And Marjoram finds his way up to 3rd. He might need to readdress that one. He's trying to do that right now, as everyone finds a little bit of room for themselves down towards turn 4.
So jumping the first chicane, you're not allowed to gain an advantage there, so those guys will have to roll off the throttle a bit.
Gee, that's the damage already for Nathan Pretty's bonnet. Oh, he's getting very close with Marjoram. This is when we had that nasty first lap crash last year in the 3rd race of the weekend. This has worked out very nicely for Jeremy Gray. Hasn't finished higher than 2nd so far this year, looking for his first race win. He was nearly there for a race win at Sandown as everyone clears the beach chicane for the first time. And I think every single guy inside the top 5 is carrying a war wound already.
Well, you're going to get that in ute racing, especially on a street circuit like the Gold Coast. The gloves are off.
Oh,
very tricky on that part of the track. The track's actually deteriorating, and if you're offline, you're going to suck into the fence.
Oh, Cedars and Harris with a fair bit of contact. That's not over yet. And Harris will take that position away. These two got into each other at the last round at Bathurst, and Cedars' championship has been on the back foot ever since. 2nd in the points behind Chris Keller-Walton, who is looking fairly good now for the championship win at the last round in Sydney. Here's the Thirsty Camel car, and suspension componentry has been copping a bit of a hit so far this weekend.
So you can see there, it's all basically standard road car stuff, so not a lot of precision in V8 ute racing.
Don't tell the boys that. Here we go. Let's see what the componentry does over the curbs. A little bit of work for the Super Shocks. And then hard on the brakes. And you actually use the engine to slow these cars down a fair bit.
A lot of engine braking, a lot of engine braking. Cars of standard road car braking system.
Oh, Nathan Pretty getting slotted back another spot here. He's trying to go to town with Adam Marjoram, who we're now riding aboard with. He's in behind George Mediki. A bit slow to pick up the throttle there, and I think we've got a problem here for Pretty.
Pretty's got a wound. He's got a war wound.
Disappointing, wasn't it? Oh, the locking brakes down at turn 1. This is going to be carnage. Jeez. That was so ambitious from Ryle Harris. He picked up 2 or 3 in one corner. Cedars wants to go with him. Pretty just wants to get back to the pits. And Hansford's going to pick him off as well. So what's the problem? Maybe bent steering.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's had a nudge on the left front.
He was so close to taking the race lead off the very start. That gap just closed up. Kind of like what happened to Greg Murphy yesterday in the V8 Supercar start. You don't want to get hung out the right here because Pretty's probably wanting the pits.
Well, if he's trying to get back to the pits, he's going to work his way over there. There he goes.
Oh.
That is close. That is close.
You've ever been on the freeway and you can see your exit coming up, but you just can't get over to the left-hand lane.
Dondas with a bit of run here.
Riding on top of the thirsty camel door, as we call it. He's going past Wayne Wakefield. These two on the podium together in the first round in Adelaide.
A bit of bump and run. Oh, straight through for Wayne.
So he'll have to readdress that problem. And he'll just manage to do so. He's got the Isuzu signage down the side of that door today, and the CEO of Isuzu's around Surfers Paradise checking this out this weekend as we check out the Yokohama replay at the start. Nathan Pretty was so close, he just thought, do I go down the left or do I go in the middle? And the gap closed.
That's where the damage might have started there. Bit of a whack on the left front.
Let's see how this all worked out for Kim Jane. A couple cars slow to jump, but nothing. Oh!
That is so close.
That was Nicolau at the back in the Shemek Racing Ute, and that could have been very nasty.
So you saw the double yellows waving there, which means there's a car in front that has stalled, but no one slowed down, did they?
No one ever does.
Look for the opportunity.
Danny Bazadzik and, massive tang slapper.
He'd get a job with Matt Mingo in the stunt team with that.
Peter Burnett. Chuck a couple of Hot Wheels stickers on it. Now this is a battle for the lead. Yokohama replay of McNally going up the inside, and Jeremy Gray giving him a bit too much room and losing second as well. So from first to third in the space of one corner.
Yeah, you can see that track bond on the circuit on that corner. If you get on that, big understeer. You've got to stay inside that.
So McNally to the lead, and he is in serious hot form after a couple race wins and the round win at Bathurst. Oh, just clips the fence at 3.
Loose as fast.
That was nearly all over though. If he hit that any harder, he could have been facing the wrong way. Andrew Fisher in the Jesus Ute had a fairly good view of that one. He's got the back tailgate with a couple dings in it. Jeremy Gray again leading a race, a reverse grid race, but submitting the lead, and now George Miedeke will be the next man to try and take third off him. Let's check this out once more. How close is it to being catastrophic this moment?
He gets it up on the curb. A lot of curb. When he rebounds, it slides it into the fence, and this actually straightens him up. Look at this.
All part of the plan, really, wasn't it?
Thank you very much. Away you go.
Just clips the tyres at the exit of 3. Gets back on the gas. Here we go once more. Reece McNally right on the absolute edge. The West Aussie. Oops, Wayne Wakefield slow. And I think there might have been a bit of a touch there with Elliot Barber. We're going to let them sort that one out over an ad break. A quick break. There's plenty more to go. V8 Supercar action from the Gold Coast. This is the Castrol Edge Gold Coast 600. Stick with us. Welcome back to Surfers Paradise, race 2 for the V8 Utes, fueled by Hog's Breath Cafe, and a nice little battle raging in the mid-pack right now between a few guys that have been at it, including Elliot Barber and Jared McLeod.
Well, yeah, the gloves are right off here mid-pack. These guys were all involved in an incident turn 4 in the race yesterday. A lot of scores to settle. Jared McLeod, if Kim Jane gets anywhere near him, I reckon he's hanging out of the fence. That was his words to me yesterday, so let's see what happens.
Let's see if he's going to talk the talk and walk the walk on that one. McLeod and Barber have been playing dodgem cars for the last lap and a half, really, but now the McMahon Mining Utes fallen back a bit. They were into each other at Sandown. They're all involved in that lap 1 crash yesterday. McLeod sideways out of 11.
He's close to the fence. The fence is sometimes like a horse. If you get close to it, it won't hurt you, you know? It's when you hit it from a long way back where you get a lot of damage.
You're safer behind these walls than you're a horse, that's for sure. Wanda on board right now with Kim Jane, and he's lurching up now behind Maverick McLeod.
There's going to be some action here. There's a lot of bad blood. Jared McLeod has been hit from pillar to post in every V8 Ute race this year.
You almost sound like you're egging them on right now, Paul.
Well, I just know he's had a tough run. Everyone uses him as a
leaning post.
Yep.
Danny Bazadzik on the left.
He's having a look now, Kim Jane.
He's limping around. And Wayne Wakefield's being a little bit of a cork in the bottle right now, isn't he? He's holding up Elliot Barber. Spud Woods come along for the ride now.
Well, Spud Wood's not scared to mix it up either.
No, he's made the switch over to a fourth this weekend in the Battery World Ute and serving him well. Here we go, Kim Jones with a nice run out of 4.
Okay, now we're going to see who the bravest is entering the beach chicane.
Danny Pizadzic's wise enough to get out of the way here. This is 200 k's an hour.
Who's going to man
contest.
up? Who is going to man up?
Here we go. It's going to be Jane who wins this one.
Okay, maybe he wants to follow him, just take him off at the next corner.
McLeod thinks that he's going to go rear gunner for this one. And this is the battle a bit further up the road. It's Jesse Dixon with nice little trainer cars behind him. The pole sitter for yesterday's race, fighting off race 1 winner and also the series leader, series second in the championship as well, is Cedars.
Well, all these guys are just banging out the same lap time. They're all in the high 25s, just reeling them off. No one can do anything. They're going to have to, you know, move someone out of the way, maybe do the bump and run like we saw yesterday to get the position.
Hopefully Jason Bargwanner is watching it. Down towards
I think it's allowed in V8 Ute racing, the bump and run. That's part
preferred.
of the driving code of conduct.
They have a drivers meeting to make sure that it's okay. Down towards turn 4. Jesse Dixon, first career pole for him this weekend as he starts to find some form in his second season driving the Heyman Reese Ute as part of Image Racing and also part of the Erebus team.
He does a good job, Jesse Dixon. Great young bloke. Goes about his racing very professionally. Great to see.
He and Elliot Barber were part of a class with Adam Marjoram last year as our rookies. Phil Woodbury leading this year's Rookie of the Year honours, involved in that nasty crash yesterday. Not out on the track today. Roll Harris with a fairly good run out of the beach chicane. Dixon wants to go defensive. This is a carbon copy move of what Harris did yesterday, but it's not going to work out there.
He's in front of him there.
Oh, Medicky's got problems. Slicks hit the wall and he's limping around. And they nearly all barreled into him.
You just can't afford to get offline. The track bond is real slippery there. It's breaking up, it's feathered up. In the V8 Supercar race yesterday, the same thing. It's a very narrow line in those corners.
Well, that move worked for Harris yesterday. He went around the outside at turn 11, but after 102 laps of V8 Supercars, it's not going to work anymore.
Yeah, track's a different beast today. Completely different.
All right, now, what happened to Medici? Straight ahead, boom. Did he get caught in that area that you're talking about?
Yep, definitely.
Massive lock-up.
Hit a break-up lock. It actually started a bit further out,
So that'll put Marjoram now up into 4th. There goes Slick.
Yeah, it happened before the corner, so that's a different issue.
Now, we're hearing this will also be the final lap right now as well. So McNally's on for a 3rd race win in 2 races at the moment, 2 race events. Anyway, this battle for seconds heating up because Gray has managed to catch up to the back of Andrew Fisher.
And this looks like it'll put Jesse Dixon highest on points.
After his pole position award yesterday.
So he's just point racing, counting the numbers off and doing a great job.
He and Harris are separated by the 1 point with 1 more race left later today. Marjoram, can he mix this up with only a couple corners left? Oh, Fisher doesn't want to get caught in the resin when the track was breaking up. So McNally with a comfortable lead right now from Fisher, who's got his mirrors full with Jero Gray, Adam Marjoram inside the top 5 comfortably so far this weekend. One of his better weekends. Had a good race in Barbagallo in his debut season. This would be up there with one of his better appearances. Final corner now. Reese McNally up the road for Cedars Motorsports, going to take this win in this battle for second. It's going on. Here's your race leader in the Stratco Ute. 3 wins out of 2 events. And he takes the reverse grid race. Second reverse grid race win after climbing Sandown last year, and how does all that fall out? Dixon would beat home Harris in the end. Wilson will get a couple more points back there as well on David Cedars. So exciting. I don't think there's anyone, Paul, getting home without a bent fender.
No, you're not going to have that round here, but you know, if you want to go fast, you got to scrape the walls around the Gold Coast.
Good luck later today. Thanks for joining us. Reese McNally is your race winner for the second race of the weekend, the reverse grid race, and back through the pack, Royal Harris, winner of yesterday.